with me to Britain, a dark and mysterious land consumed by a supernatural plague that ends lives, shatters minds, and twists the unlucky few into unspeakable eldritch horrors. But worry not, because there's one man who can save this world, a true doctor of medicine, and that man is... me.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking either. My success rate is rather low.
Oh, no, not another one! No!
Instead, I'll need to sneak, backstab, and explode my way around so I can enter the Countess's castle and cure this blight on the world. Oh, that's gonna be a little bit tricky, isn't it? So, like any masterpiece, I start as a prisoner trapped in a cell. I find that I'm imprisoned by these weird light-eyed enemies called huntsmen. I don't know what happened to them, but they've somehow acquired a light bulb in their skull. But before you ask, yes, I did try to use them as a lantern, but it didn't work. They're the iconic and base enemy of this game, a walking, talking mood board. Green is calm, yellow, suspicious, and red, well...
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
Since this is a video game, they can't let me rot in prison for too long, so a stranger comes along to help me escape. Before opening the door, he calls me a doctor, tells me to go to a lighthouse, and throws me this fancy fluorescent ring which is supposed to help me sneak around. Now that I was finally free, I could witness just how dark this game is. I even checked my brightness settings. Like, look at this! Look how dark this game is! Okay, I'll be honest, I wasn't showing any footage there. Oh, was I? You've been sitting... Further down the hall, I came across a little bag on the floor. It was just sitting there in the middle of the room. As it turns out, this is my bag, an inventory of sorts. Not gonna lie, it's like one of the best things of this game. Good googly moogly, this animation's smooth with it. My guy, there's females on this site. Save some for the rest of us. After admiring the bag, a smoker man told me I can find the rest of my equipment through this locked door. This part actually went pretty smoothly. I just stole this little key off the guard, and now I had this handy dandy cane saw. What do you mean? Why is there a guy clipping through the door? Okay, well, yes, I may have aggroed the entire building by throwing a pitchfork at this fella's head, but it's fine, I have my sword now, I can protect myself. You can tell this game's in early access. Look at him, you little bitch boy, what are you gonna do? What the fuck? Yeah, this fella just broke the very fabric of reality and phased right through the door. I'm not sure what's worse, altering the fabric of space-time, or, well, the fact that he managed to also shoot me right through the door. What the? After carefully taking care of him, I was now free to explore properly, but I probably should have just restarted. From this very moment, I was one-hittable and had this stupid limp. I was like this for the entire first area. I didn't know how to heal. What was I supposed to do? The game never taught me how. Why doesn't my guy know how to heal? Is he actually a doctor? Or is he one of those fake doctors with a degree? Oh, you've got a doctorate in physics? Well, at least you can explain how the hell that bastard slipped right through that fucking door. So with my limpy body, I attempted to work my way through the building. I did a little stabby and eventually found a safe with a gun inside. Thanks to this gun, I was filled with a new sense of determination. But I got a little bit too overconfident.
Wait, no! Wait 1 second! Wait, no!
The lack of health was a real problem that I just couldn't get away from. Everywhere I went, I would just die over and over again. But fellas, not to worry. This is one of those games. Death isn't a bad thing. Each life was scouting paths, accumulating wisdom, gaining mastery over the very fundamentals of the mechanics. Eventually, I would persevere and escape this hell, is what I thought. Yeah, I'm not sure if my mental state's a bit odd with all these games I've been playing lately, but I'd already lost my mind in the first area. I mean, it was my fault. I could have easily just restarted with full health. I could have used these fancy secret tunnels the game provides. I could have even broken open these boxes. They're scattered all over the map with healing valves, but I didn't know that. It wasn't all bad, though. After enough deaths, I realised I'd overlooked one thing. This is an immersive sim. I just need to get a little bit more creative. And by creative, I mean, well, some people love planes, some trains, but me? So in one of my many short lives, I came across one of those handy-dandy explosive barrels. Very powerful, but very loud. One time I used it to kill a single guard and the entire...
Oh no, they're all coming! No, stay!
But this planted a seed which soon bloomed into a plant. An explosive plant? Yes, they exist. Have you never played Plants vs. Zombies? So if one barrel alerts everybody, what would happen if I had 2? Or 4?
Oh, god damn, I love explosions.
With the building now empty, I was free to explore and came across this waterfall, which, like every savvy gamer, I knew there'd be something behind it. But I didn't expect what would be in this room. All this time there was a cheese stash behind this waterfall. So this is the moment I found out I could heal using food. I don't have a doctorate in biology, but even I know your body needs to be messed up for that to work. What the hell are you, doctor? Wait, I'm not supposed to eat the cheese! At least now I had a new way to heal and could move on to the next area. Actually, wait 1 second. Now I could finally move on to the caves. Not gonna lie, fellas, this is probably one of the most boring areas of the game. They were going for this whole spooky horror vibe where you're in full darkness and need to sneak around these dogs by lashing body parts to distract them. But I didn't get that vibe at all. I mean, it might have been because of my playstyle. I bet the game's designers didn't expect a man with 2 guns. Reloading? Who needs that?
I started blasting. Bam!
Wow.
Those mutated dogs didn't stand a chance. I later learned that you can skip this entire area by running at this door, spamming F. This game likes to put shortcuts back to save points, and this one specifically is at the end of the level. It only has a few crates blocking the door, so you can just push them out the way. It even skips a whole fight you're supposed to have with the huntsman. It's pretty great, although you do miss out on an early lantern, but that's fine. You're a big boy, you can handle it. After leaving the caves, I ended up in a little cliff area with a load of huntsmen guarding a house. I spotted my good old friend Explosive Barrel, which took a few tries, but eventually did help me decimate everybody. Guys, I'm actually starting to think that it's the fire which is broken in this game. So the huntsman pulled up a drawbridge and stopped me from making any more progress to the lighthouse. I did try to run straight for the bridge one time, but I got nowhere near crossing it. Instead, I needed to take a little detour through a pub, and I didn't even mind too much since I had lots of food to heal up. But, oh, that doesn't sound good. Yes, James, that was not good. In fact, it was very, very, very bad. Unfortunately, I needed to go up there to get a key for this locked door, so I turned on the power, turned on this elevator, went upstairs, and... Oh, what the hell is that? Yes, this is a goat man. I hate him. This boss is the very bane of my existence. I tried to cheese him using the bar, but it turns out this fella also doesn't care about physics because he can just bend this axe right down this pillar. What the hell was that? I gave up on that and tried to fight him normally, but it was clearly obvious that the revolver wasn't going to cut it. No, I needed more firepower, and it just so happens that I found a shotgun in the room upstairs. Yes, finally I'll be able to kill it now. That naive bastard. It didn't help at all. I don't know what that goat's made of, but it might as well have been Kevlar since a shotgun right to the face had no effect. I hate you! I did notice a key on its body, which I probably could have stolen and used to escape, but no. It was a point of pride now. This bastard was going down one way or another. The initial part was fine. He's not too fast, and I could just run away and lead him around some tables and do damage. It's all good. But then after a certain amount of damage, the fella just becomes primetime Usain Goat. It's impossible to get away from him when he's on all fours. What the hell am I supposed to do? I tried blasting him with a shotgun, dead. I tried using traps, still dead. Even in my best attempt, I ran out of ammo! What do you want from me? Fight him with the sword? Well, I tried that, I died! What sick bastard designed this fella? The only useful thing I learned is that you can get him to glitch into things. Sure, he's stuck, but that's only if you don't shoot him. Because if you do, well, you get the point. So instead of fighting him, I just used that wonderful opportunity to scour the building for more ammo. And that's when I found it. Those dirty designers hid a little switch in a dark corner. Flicking the switch lowers stairs to a loft, a seemingly harmless place. But hidden up there was exactly what I needed. Oh my god, my love! You're back! My knight in shining armor had arrived, and I knew I could finally kill that stupid boss. I had the utmost faith in my explosive barrel. He hadn't failed me yet. I set a few traps, unglitched the goat, and... Take that, you stupid... Oh god, he's not dead, no! Oh, fucking hell. I don't want to meet that thing again. Now that I'd killed the goat and escaped that hellhole, I wanted nothing more than just to relieve some stress. So the first moment I came across a huntsman, I busted out the new shotgun and went blasting. Following the path, I came upon the lighthouse, a beacon of light in these dark times. When I go inside to save, I get a little message from the stranger. He tells me to meet him in the city and to not look into the mirror. Like, what the hell? What kind of a sick bastard says this to somebody? Do I look weird or something? How am I supposed to not look into the mirror now? So I go downstairs, a door ominously opens, and inside is the dreaded mirror. God damn, I'm dummy thick. Oh, wait, that's not me, never mind. Yes, this lady is the Countess, and apparently she's bad? I don't know. She's the one who imprisoned the doctor at the beginning, so maybe? She acts like she's got this weird obsession with me, but no. I know what she wants. Women only want one thing, and it disgusts me. It's this sick bag. Look at it. Look at this fucking animation. Oh, I can fit so much crap in here. If she wants it, she can take it on my cold and dead hands, but not the hands of the other times I died. The journal animation's really cool too. Even the guns. Somebody give the anime man a raise. After speaking to the mirror and leaving the lighthouse, I headed towards the city, and it was guarded by huntsmen with a big cannon. But that didn't bother me. Hey, fellas. The Countess said I can come in. What the hell? Don't worry, fellas. That was just a signal to say I can come in. I definitely didn't kill them all and use the cannon to blow open a big hole in the door. No, I wouldn't do that. It was just a simple and nice procedure. Ah, home sweet home. I don't know if you fellas know this, but this is exactly what the UK looks like. I haven't seen sunlight in 4 months. Send help! So this city is pretty much the main area of Gloomwood. It's planned to have around 5 districts, but currently only has 3. The market which I'm in, the Underport, and Hightown. Yes, the map doesn't say Hightown, but don't worry about that. I can either go down the heavily guarded Queen's Road, or go around and head towards the lower markets with a new danger lurking in the shadows. Well, fellas, I went down the Queen's Road, and it turns out you can't actually go that way. It's just a dead end. The detour down the road wasn't entirely a waste of time, though, because in one of the houses I found beans! Yes, I'd found an entire pantry of baked beans. Not gonna lie, this game has captured the UK perfectly. We fucking love baked beans. It's the national dish. An Englishman can't possibly turn this good old can of baked beans down, can he? These heinous bastards don't want my beans! Heathens! After that minor bean field detour, I finally went down the side streets and confronted the new danger. Oh, what the fuck? This is a Batman. A new enemy in the game. They hide in dark places and try to ambush you when you least expect it. When they're not trying to kill me, they're actually fighting a good cause and cleansing the city of the huntsman. I would try to befriend them, but they didn't want any of my beans either. Heathens! Personally, I found them pretty hard to fight compared to the huntsman, but I can't tell if that's actually because they're stronger or because I had a full case of beans instead of my guns. A mystery for the ages. After some sneaking, eating, explosions, eating, fighting, eating, I found this lift which could take me to an emerald terrace. All I need to do was burn this ring I found on some dead body and I could go right up. Up there was just a single building, the Emerald Eye. Now, this building is actually the true hub of this game. A safe haven with a lovely little merchant who can sell me things for a pretty penny. He even buys my crap. Although he doesn't buy bodies. I tried that. You telling me you don't want free organs? The perceptive among you might have already noticed, but yes, he is the stranger who helped me escape in the beginning. Good job. So he gives me a little lore drop telling me that the Countess is evil and that the disease plaguing the city is coming from her castle. All we need to do is collect 5 seals and we can get in there. Yes, you heard that right. 5. And currently in this game, there's a grand total of 1. It looks like it's going to be up to the great-great-grandkids to see this ending. After speaking to the merchant, I go upstairs and as I'm about to enter the room to save, I'm ambushed by these stairs. Looking up, I spot the mirror lady who's trying to lead me into a mirror. I was a little bit apprehensive at first, but ultimately gave in, and it was the best decision I've ever made. Oh, wow, what is this? Is this fast travel? Yes, James, that is the mirror world. All those shortcuts you opened up earlier were pointless. The Countess has just gifted you with the greatest way to get around. But fellas, please don't say my name 3 times in a row because I will appear and it's becoming a bit of a problem. So, I didn't actually need to use the mirror yet and went back to speak to the merchant. The merchant says that we can find the first seal in the Underport district. How he knows this information, I have no idea. I mean, I'm not going to question him. This fella's got an impenetrable shield. He just probably knows stuff. As you can probably guess, the Underport was all about water. It's the industrial district of the city, which in the past used to fuel the nearby market. But now, it's just an empty husk infested with huntsmen, some dogs, and weirdly a lot of missing people posters. Who the hell keeps putting up all these posters? At some point, you're going to realise it's not working. Working my way through the Underport went pretty smoothly. I set a few traps, got the huntsmen and dogs to fight, flicked a few switches, gave a cheese offering to a rat painting, flicked a few more switches, found the manager's room which was locked down with a little power symbol. Nothing too special. If anything, the game was a little too easy since getting the shotgun. I didn't think at any point I got close to running out of ammo. I was actually regretting my difficulty choice, but then I was forced to venture into the sewers. Yeah, the sewers was not a fun place to go to. Every time I went down, it just got weirder and weirder until eventually in one of the sewers, I noticed some rats running away. I thought nothing of it. They've been trying to do this over and over again to try and spook me, but I wasn't going to be tricked this time. Oh, how naive I was. After turning on the power to this area, they appeared. Yes, this is a crowman. He's distinguished by his very fashionable hat, and also the rest of his crow-like appearance. Crowmen are fast, very bullet spongy, and can't be backstabbed, so basically a nightmare for anybody playing this game. They're one of the very few enemies that can crawl through tight spaces. I can't tell you how many times they spooked me out of nowhere. After killing my first crowman, I took it out to get a better look at it, but...
Oh! This isn't what it looks like. No, please leave me alone.
You can probably tell I don't like crowmen. After finally escaping the sewers and going across the bridge, I find two huntsmen talking about an entrance to an underground area. It's currently locked and requires this special crank to open it up.
You're telling me I need to go deeper? I don't want to go deeper.
After that major revelation, the next building I found was a power station. It was full of loud generators, which I figured I probably needed to turn off to get to that manager's room we saw earlier. But downstairs was completely flooded with sparky water, and upstairs, oh god. Fortunately, this place had some flash bombs, so I could finally test them out. You actually get given one just before the goat boss, but I wasted mine. Turns out it would have been very helpful because I only needed 2 to take out all of these Batmen. After some deft parkour, I managed to turn off all of the power and the big Bappy sound effect played, but none of them turned up.
I don't think I was supposed to kill them all before doing this.
Now that the power was off, I could go back to the manager's room and open the safe. Inside, you can probably guess what was there. Yes, it was the crank to open up the underground door. Once I got it open, I was ready to descend.
Oh, this place is horrendous. At least we know where all the missing people went.
This is the subterranean water complex which controls the water flow for the city. I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate
this place.
Look at this map. Simple, right? No. All those paths are blocked off by these doors where you need to flip a switch to open them up. So instead, you're spending your entire time walking around in darkness looking for the way around. Oh, did I forget to mention that this place is infested with crowmen? Yeah, I can't use my lantern and shotgun at the same time, so instead, I just need to fire into the void and hope the void doesn't fire back, which it always inevitably did. Eventually, after enough exploration, I spotted some beams to jump around, and it led to a new area that I hadn't seen yet. I even found the save point. Great, some progress. It probably doesn't even sound too bad till this point, but it gets worse. So behind the save point was the door, and after opening that door and walking through, I noticed that door was only one way, and that this room is filled to the brim with...
Oh, that's a lot of crowmen. Oh god, please.
You might think this is where I had the problem, but no. I had a little theory I was working on, and it was the perfect chance to test it. You know when I said fire might be the most broken thing in this game? Well, I'd bought this flare gun from the merchant before coming to the sewers, and one of the ammo types is actually a flame bolt which ignites things on contact. So I was thinking, what happens if I just...
Oh my god, it worked! I'm a genius!
Yeah, fellas, don't worry about that. That happiness doesn't last for too long. Now that all the crowmen were gone, I was free to explore and came across this locked door to an engineering room. This is the room I needed to get into, but I didn't have the key yet. In fact, I wouldn't get this key for another hour. Yes, I was stuck here for an hour. I scoured the entire place, opened up every door, checked every room, and still nothing. Eventually, I'd even backtracked all the way to the very beginning, and that's when I saw it. Finally, the key.
Oh my god, yes.
But it was the wrong key. I'd lost all hope of finding this key. I tried everything I could. I flipped all these fan switches. I found another key that was also the wrong key. I even found the exit and left early. This part was very confusing. But no, none of that helped. Remember all those crowmen I killed with the firebolt? Well, this is the room underneath, and he was here the entire time. How could have I missed it? A little tiny key in a dark, dingy room with all these weird pimples covering the floor. All I needed to do was ignore all of that and look at this random fellow's mouth. I was so defeated. I went and sat in a corner for a couple of minutes just to contemplate everything.
Am I dumb?
Maybe. Well, let's just put it down to darkness and move on. Now that I had the key, I could finally leave this place and go through the door. Jumping down the tunnel, I'm greeted by the mirror lady once again with a nice bit of lore. But I wasn't in the right headspace for all that. Instead, I was focused on something else. There it was, the seal. I was free to leave this hell, but I couldn't go back the way I came. No. This time I needed to go through a new hell. The Hive.
I must get out of here. I must get free.
If you thought the last area was bad, well, this is the home of the Crowmen, and as you can see, there's quite a few of them. At least this game gave me a new gun, a powerful harpoon rifle with rope technology.
Oh, wow, so much damage.
Yeah, it's not very good. Since it worked so well last time, I tried to use the flame bolt again, but...
Clever girl.
You might think this part was going to be really hard and arduous, but... I'm going to be honest with you, fellas, I actually don't know how I escaped. I jumped down, walked into the building, took my first right, and there it was. The exit.
That was a lot easier than I thought.
Finally, I had the seal, and I was free to leave again. But then I noticed that, the start was right here. I didn't even need to go through the Hive, I could have just walked right.
I'm so dumb.
Now that I'd gone to hell and back, I was ready for anything that was going to come next. Well, almost everything.
Oh, fuck, they're all outside.
Yes, the city is now infested with crowmen. I couldn't be happier. I avoided the crowmen completely. They can live in the city for all I care, and brought the shield back to the merchant. He praises me for my sick gamer skills and tells me that the next seal's going to be in a bank in Hightown. He warns me it'll be heavily guarded, but I was a little bit confused.
Why should I be worried? The police, they'll protect little old me, right?
I'm sure they will, James. I'm sure they will. So we leave the merchant, and you can hear sounds of fighting all over the city. A new section of the city had opened up, and I can't lie, it was very imposing. Hightown, as you can probably tell from its name, is where the bigwigs live, the home of the rich. I was expecting to find lots of money there, but it had less than you'd expect.
These poor bastards.
It's currently controlled by the constables and is in full lockdown while they fight back the waves of huntsmen. Once I get into Hightown, I'm greeted with the welcome sight of huntsmen hung up, so I go to greet the friendly officers.
Hello, friends. I see those sneaky huntsmen have been killing you too. What?
Okay, yeah, the constables are bad too. A man could dream that this game had more friendly people in it, right? So, after respawning, this time I know what I needed to do. Yeah, they aren't too bright. The constables are basically huntsmen with a bit more flair. As you've just seen, one of them could just blow their whistle to get every constable into the area to chase you down. And they have a wide range of weapons, which changes their fighting style and how you can handle them. The scariest one is the sniper. This fella just sits in a watchtower waiting for you to step out. And when you do, all you get is this little audio cue, otherwise bam, you're dead. Since I felt a little bit weak after fighting the crowmen, I decided to do a little backtracking and finally do something which I'd skipped in the beginning. Some research. A lot of people complain about research since you need to collect all the body parts and carry them back to the lighthouse, but it's really easy if you have the bigger bag. All you need to do is carry one of the bodies and put the rest in the bag. Then once you take it back to the lighthouse, you can...
Yes!
Yeah, I like to roleplay so I can keep my Hippocratic oath intact. So, I start off by trying to research the constables, but... yeah, they can't be researched yet. I dragged this body all the way from Hightown through the mirror world and right to the lighthouse for absolutely nothing. He's just going to remain a statue in that corner forever. Researching the other monsters was pretty easy since I left a trail of corpses everywhere I went. The hardest one to collect was the goat man. I tried going back to the inn, but I don't remember what happened to the body. Instead, I happened to meet one in the unlikeliest of places.
What the... Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! You don't stand a chance this time, big fella. I'm on home turf now.
Finally, I had the last specimen for my research. So I just hooked up each body part to this machine and eventually got told I unlocked the passive and some serum. I could craft these serums, but I didn't plan on doing that. The passives were strong enough.
What? His head just flew off!
Hightown was actually a defining moment in my playthrough. I got to show off all the skills and mechanics I'd learned throughout the game. No longer was I a helpless prisoner who died every 5 minutes to a simple hunter. No, now I was a true doctor of death who could take on the entire faction of constable. Okay, I'm gonna kill those snipers. So after killing those snipers and working my way through Hightown, I came across a room where a man has been studying and experimenting with the monsters in this game. I mean, I can't really judge. I've been vaporizing them into the ether too. Well, that wasn't until I went to his basement. I'm trying my best not to judge, but...
What the hell is this?
Well, James, it appears that these flesh blobs are having a lovely little family meal and you're interrupting. Oh, you just killed them. I guess that's one solution. My question is, how the hell do they have a fountain of blood? Do you know how much blood you need for this? Fellas, look at this. It's never ending. It's filled the entire room. After leaving the fleshy meal, I found myself in this building with all these star decorations. I thought it was kind of weird, but then I came across this letter.
Fellas, I think somebody might have realised that star signs might not be a real thing.
Yes, it appears that this person was a star fanatic and went crazy. When I went upstairs, I actually found the writer of this note. And she wasn't doing well. I don't want to jump to conclusions here, but she might not be alive. It seems she died looking at the stars. I tried looking myself, but I have no idea what she saw. It was just a complete blur. Maybe she finally realised that the zodiac signs have shifted by a month. Isn't that right, Neil?
You're going to put personality traits in. By the way, and the people who came up
Neil,
with this are
that's not,
sleepless
Neil, that's not what I asked.
Babylonians,
Neil, stop.
Romans,
Neil,
and Greeks, right?
What the hell are you talking about? Neil,
no,
stop! So looking around the room, I found this cog and I tried to put it back in the wall, but it seems like it was needed for something else. With the cog now in my possession, I went back exploring and came across this giant staircase. At the top, there were 2 guards and a sky bridge. After taking out the guards, I found that this sky bridge is currently broken and needs a cog to fix it. As it turns out, my cog just fit in perfectly.
I'm telling you, it's like somebody planned out this entire thing. Fellas, it's not a conspiracy theory.
With the machine fixed, I was ready to ride it across, but it's over. The game ends here. But not for me. Not yet, because I had one thing left to do. Back at the Lighthouse, I made the goat ceremony.
It's Glooming Time. Take this, you stupid crowman. I'm the strongest individual in this entire game.
So was Gloomwood worth the time? Yeah, I'd say it was. It took me 13 hours to get through, but that includes me getting lost and dying a few times, so it's probably shorter than that. Since it's an immersive sim, it has that replayability. I know I did a whole run and gun playthrough, but I imagine sneaking around could also be fun. If you were to get this, I'd go in with the full expectation that this will never be finished, because it's taken a while. I just hope when we finally get to that castle in the end, they don't say, well, she's in a different castle. Collect 5 more seals, you idiot. Wait. What the hell's going on with this gameplay?
Fellas, I'm not controlling anymore. Fellas, help. He's glooming way too much. He's gloom maxing.